Welcome, traveler. You have entered the realm of adventure. Prepare yourself for tales from beyond the dice.
Welcome back. We play role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition and more. I am your DM Luke, and your players are...
Ben, I play Cortaine. Hope you're having a nice pandemic lockdown. Kind of dark. I don't know why I went there.
It's a really light tone you've set.
That's right, it can only get more cheery from there. Let's do this. It seems like margaritas make me dour. Good to know.
Sour? Did you say they make you sour?
They are sour and make me dour.
Also in the dark is our podcast, but I'm playing Spigs, and that will make you happy, so let's get this show on the road.
Trav, Little Moss.
Woo! And I'm Levi, and I play Lokag, who's drinking a can of sludgy happiness.
Oh, that sounds worse than the previous drink you were drinking.
Yeah, I thought we were making it happier, but that just sounds
Yeah,
sad.
no, it is happy. It's just like chocolatey and
It's just
It's like-
chocolatey. Oh.
You know, like, what's his name? Muck from Pokemon?
Yeah,
And Grimer? He's
Yeah.
like a happy little sludge guy, you know?
that's true. He's
like
pretty
that.
cheer. He is pretty cheerful.
chilling out,
Yeah.
enjoying life.
Yeah.
You know he's made entirely of pollution, right?
Yeah, it's true.
He cleans up the sewers.
He's not,
He
making
makes
pollution. He is pollution.
Yeah, he's like, when you've had way too much Mexican food, he's the aftermath. Anyway, so we'll begin with Little Moss. You wake up in an unfamiliar room with an unfamiliar ceiling. High arches made from this light grey speckled concrete. You're laying on some sort of wooden bench and there's a pillow underneath your neck.
This place doesn't look familiar at all.
You smell a strange stench, and as you lift your head, you notice that your turtleneck around your shoulders, chest, arms has been melted and burnt across your body in these strange patterns.
Ew.
And you think to yourself, the fuck could have done that? And then the last thing you remember before everything went dark was that weird skull, that purple-black skull shattering in your hands. You remember pain coursing through your body and looking out on the street, seeing Lokag holding that car door, staring at you with wide eyes. And as you look about the room you're in, it displays various sized steel doors built into the east wall. The west wall has an old wooden set of shelves with dusty glass, behind which ancient books rest undisturbed by time. You look over your shoulder towards the south, and there is a wall of simple concrete with a huge set of characters painted in yellow. It says V-02. Then you look past your feet again as you prop yourself up on your hands, looking towards the north wall, and you see a massive round metal door, a vault door, decorated with large rivets, bolts and nuts, and complicated machinery. I want you to roll a perception check for me.
Okie dokie. 16.
As you're looking around, you notice some small, old-school white surveillance cameras in the corners of the room, and there are little red lights blinking on them. It's quiet, eerily quiet.
This is some weird hospital, man. Where am I?
What are you doing? Do you want to just...
I mean, I presume I'm just laying there, I guess, but I think I'm a little bit freaked out. Can I try and get up?
Yeah, you can.
I try and stand.
You stand and there is like this strange light aching in your joints. From your ankles, your knees, wrists, elbows, shoulders, running down your back. And as you look down at your hands,
Yeah.
as they're tingling, you see this slight, ever so slight, ethereal, blackish purple energy sort of ripple out of your hands and then just disappear like it was never there.
Cool. Can I do that thing where you like put it up in front of your face and like try and move it real quick?
Doesn't show again.
Ah, lame.
The room is lit by these fluorescent lights that are hanging from the ceiling, from these arched ceilings.
I try and check for bullet wounds. Did I get shot or something? Can I check myself out?
You check your shoulder because bullets passed through the skull and one hit you in the shoulder. As you check it, you move away your basically destroyed black turtleneck, and there is a square bandage that is stuck down over a wound, and you can see a little red sort of marking underneath it. You feel on the other side, and there is also another patch. So someone has patched you up.
Cool. Can I look up to one of the security cameras?
Yep.
And flip it off?
All right. In another room somewhere else, the rest of you are standing around a table in the Darkhaven Library. You are in that little basement section that you were all taken to when you first met the guys at the Darkhaven Library. They took you downstairs to show you an old tome that had a list of names, and amongst those names were Spigs' parents. And on the shelves there were all of these old artifacts that have been catalogued and books and stuff like that. You're in that room, in a section that you haven't really been in before. You are all staring at a large metal framed box with these glass windows on each side of it, including the top. It's sitting there on this old wooden table. Now within the box, there are purple-black crystal-like fragments that are floating around this black orb, this abyssal orb, this orb that's so black light does not reflect off of its surface, and it looks almost two-dimensional. Purple, black tendrils of energy writhing and tethering the shards of this once skull to the orb. The shards never stray more than a few inches from this abyssal orb. Lorien is there with you.
It is called an Oblixus Rend, otherwise known as a Skull of the Withered One. It's an artifact of immense power, and I didn't even know it was in the city. There was no trace of its power. When I've searched and felt out into the ethereal air of New Ettica, I pick up on traces of magical items, you see, but this one I could not find. I did not notice it was here. It seems that those metal pieces, and you see those little gilded metal pieces that were on the outside of the skull, Lokag, you see them sort of just floating there as well, being tethered by that purple-black energy. It seems that they were some sort of framework that cloaked its magic. Very interesting. Now, this is a very powerful relic. I wonder to whom those Yuntongs were selling the artifact and what they want with the power that is contained within it. The tests I've done show me that Little Moss has been infused with a portion of the magic that was held within the Oblixus Rend. But what that means is a mystery. I'm not sure if you are well versed on magical things, but there are various types of magical essence coursing through him. There are different schools of magic, and his is indistinguishable. It sort of changes. Now, all we can do is go in there, ask him a few questions, see if he's okay, make sure he's still the Little Moss that you know. And if we can give him the all clear, then we open the vault door and let him go free. He can join us.
And if he isn't the same,
Well,
do you need me to bring old Thunderfire Cannon in there?
You bastard! Sorry.
Are you suggesting that we kill him?
I don't know, like what extent? Like maybe he's gone psychopath. I don't know.
What?
It's magic.
I mean, that's the pot calling the kettle black, saying that he might be a psychopath now.
Oh, wait, sorry, I already was one. Okay. So this no much difference then.
No, I'm saying that, we're all a little bit like psychopaths.
But
you built a giant 10-foot high mechanical dog for your kids, and you made it so that it was essentially a walking tank. That's slightly psychotic.
I don't know. Protecting family doesn't sound too bad.
Well, what about whose little moss you then that you just want to go and off him so quickly?
I'm just there as protection in case he wakes up and, I don't know, he starts bringing the end of the world.
I honestly doubt he will bring upon the end of the world because he probably would have done so already if the power was that powerful to disrupt the entire planet. It would have already taken place. Now, also, I'm pretty sure you spent a couple weeks building a whole new weapon. Why are you still carrying around your Thunderfire cannon?
You know, I'm still getting used to the new one. Still got a couple tweaks before I start using it. Probably, next time we go out, I might swap over.
Good, because you were making quite a lot of noise banging around in there when I was trying to do research, and if you've left that room without making anything substantial, then anyway, we'll have a discussion about whether or not and what we should do with Little Moss if he is not him, okay? And then Lorien turns to Lokag. He says, "Then, Lokag, we can have our discussion about our business with you. Is that okay?"
Yeah, right. I reckon this might have cleared some debts, but yeah, we probably should talk about that.
Good. I believe Dune has set up the computer system, and we have been monitoring him, so let's see if he is awake.
And he turns around, walks through this basement area, up the stairs, and you guys follow him back to the library center where he does all of his study. There are all the books and those green-topped, glass-topped lamps and bookshelves and old computers. And on one of the tables, there is this old CRT set up with a microphone and this box with all these flashing lights. Dune notices you all coming. He looks over to Lokag and he sort of just picks up some things, some tools and stuff, and he walks away and disappears amongst the shelves. Lorien notices and he doesn't say anything about it. He walks over to the CRT. It's got like that snow crash, static, black and white little fuzz, and he presses some buttons on that machine with all the lights, and it flicks through to the vault. And Little Moss is there. He sits up, props himself up. He is looking around the room. He looks at his hands for a second, and then he brings them a little bit closer and looks at them closer, and then he stops and just patiently looks around the room. He looks up at one of the cameras, and then he gives them the finger.
Yeah, he's the same.
I've set up this microphone. Did one of you want to speak to him? See, just make sure?
So it's this old chrome microphone. The head of it is also chrome with all of these black sort of slits and slots. And on the base, there is a toggle that says on off, and then there is a little volume control as well. The switch is set to off.
Switch it to on, and over the microphone I say, Little Moss.
God?
It's Cortaine. Odd? What do you mean odd?
No, is this God?
Oh, no, it's Cortaine.
Cortaine, are you God?
I don't think so. But I'm talking to you through the surveillance system.
Cool. How do you do that? Never mind. What do you want?
Want to see how you are. You gave us a bit of a fright.
Yeah, well, something weird happened. I don't feel so good.
What do you mean you don't feel so good?
Like I am busting to go to the toilet, and there's absolutely no amenities in here. Like I'm gonna destroy a corner of the room soon if something isn't done about this.
That sounds pretty normal. I don't know why that's unusual.
I'm sore and stuff, and I think I got shot in the shoulder, and my turtleneck is ruined, and I'm pretty upset about that.
Okay, but you don't feel different? Like, you might want to destroy all sentient life?
No more than usual, I guess. I mean, you know, just the base amount.
Base amount. Okay.
Like, you know, people that cut you off when you're, like, riding a hoverboard.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know, people that are cruel to animals. But, you know, no more than usual. Like I said, the normal amount.
Okay. What do you think about Spigs' giant dog, mechanical dog?
Well, I think it's stupid.
How dare you?
I turn off the mic and say, he's fine. He's still with it. I turn the mic back on.
Yeah, I mean, who lets their family near, like, a giant mechanical dog? Like, what if it crushes the toddler?
Cortaine is just looking at Spigs, just, like, nodding.
It is just, it's bordering on irresponsible.
Just
really.
nodding.
I mean, you know, and that's coming from me. Me! Like they say in rehab, never let a large mechanical dog near a small child.
Sounds like wise words.
Lorien turns to Cortaine and he says,
Do they actually say that at rehab?
I turn off the mic and say, I don't know. He often starts the sentence with, as they say in rehab, so who knows. I'll turn it back on.
It's only been a recent thing. I don't know, like, since we got famous and everything, maybe it ended up in
I can
rehab.
hear
I don't
you.
know.
Just turn the mic on, you idiots.
Little Moss, can you tell us everything you remember about from when you had gotten that object and before all the weirdness happened? Can you tell us what happened?
I jumped over the counter, grabbed the box, saved the day, got the goods, and then I got shot. And then everything went black.
That's pretty well what happened.
You don't remember anything else?
Yeah, Lokag was like being a chauffeur, and I'm like, what the hell, dude? I just got shot, and then I blacked out.
I turn off the mic. Does the Lokag, that sounds like what happened?
There's a bit more flesh to it, but that's pretty well what happened.
Does he remember the skull thing?
Turn the mic back on. Do you remember
Are you turning the mic off on me? Are you talking behind my back? Like, you just disappear for moments at a time, and it's really off-putting.
I am turning the mic off and on.
What are you keeping from me?
Well, we're concerned that object might have affected you.
Well, I'm concerned that I don't have a toilet in here. So, can we sort this out pretty quick?
Okay, we will. If not, I'm sure Spigs can whip up a small little Roomba that will explode to clean it up.
Well, I've got a bucket for him if he wishes.
I like the idea of the Roomba better, just saying, like, that sounds pretty great.
A Roomba that cleans. That cleans food. I couldn't even do it in character.
It's a Pumbaa.
Pumbaa. Bomba. Okay, so what do you think, Lorien? L'Oreal? Do you think he's worth it?
Well, I think if you guys think it's okay, I'm happy to open the door.
Look, I think he's the same. Like, he acts the same. He's got the same memories, and we took down a giant pebble-eating monster thing. So we could take Moss down if he goes insane and tries to destroy the world.
Hmm.
I mean, he's much smaller than that big purple monster creature, so I guess it'd be much easier.
Okay. Well then, why don't you all follow me down to one of the vaults and we shall, let Little Moss out.
He goes over to the microphone, flicks it up, and says,
Little Moss, Lorien here. Won't be too long. Hold on, we'll have you to the toilet in no time.
He flicks it off.
Hurry!
I turn the mic on, so just don't think of waterfalls.
You guys go back down to the basement to sort of this just plain green door. Opens it, walks through this hallway, which takes you to another hallway. But on this hallway, there are these 3 vaults. The middle one, V02. Lorien goes up. He ruffles around in his coat, pulls free this key, plugs it in, turns it. He then turns this knob, combination lock. He then places the He takes the key out, places it in another section, turns it, does another combination lock, and then he turns this crank. And then you guys hear the machinery working. This door automatically unlocks everything and then opens up.
Lorien, is there anything in the other 2 vaults?
Yes, there are things in those vaults.
Do you care to elaborate?
I don't want to offend you or anything, Mr. Cortaine, but the contents of these vaults and the artifacts and relics that we collect is sensitive, and only members of the Keepers of Law are to know what they are, and only if they have the correct clearance level. And since you are not a member and you don't have the clearance, I wish not to tell you. Sorry.
And then he cranks this other crank and he pulls open the small door section. And Little Moss, you see the door open up and you see your friends there. Lorien turns to you, Spigs, and says,
Lokag knows of some of the items that he has collected, but he does not know what is in these vaults. Do you?
Oh, I could guess, but nah,
Just
not really.
Give us a guess, Lokag. What's in the vault?
Oh, well, there was like a rod of destruction, or like it'd like shoot beams and such, but I don't know if that's in this vault or in one of the other vaults.
Cool.
So yeah, just a guess.
People can't see me.
Little Moss, you are free. You can go to the toilet.
I'm hiding around the corner, like so that people couldn't see me when the door opened, and I put a sheet over the top of me, and I jump out in front of people, and I'm like, I'm a ghost!
I shoot at him 3 times my revolver.
Why would you shoot at a ghost?
he's got anti-ghost bullets. They call them ghoulets.
That's not bad.
Ghoulets. Well, Little Moss, follow me. I'll show you the way to the toilet.
You better run.
Yeah, right, let's go. Sorry about the turtleneck.
I break into a log jog.
Is that when you're trying to hold in a poop but trying to get to the toilet quickly?
Yeah, you gotta clinch.
All right.
We've all been there.
So after Lokag shows Little Moss to the toilets and Little Moss relieves himself, you all adjourn in the center of the library. Sitting in the armchairs and the couches and stuff that are there, Lorien says,
Lokag, I think it's time to discuss our business. Now, Dune, he's feeling quite upset. He doesn't wish to be here right now, so I hope things aren't too awkward if we talk about it without him.
I think it's for the best.
Okay. So, Spigston, we sent you on that little mission to find Lokag because he knew where a particular artifact, where he knew where it was or where it was last seen, because the 3 of us were out looking for it when things went wrong. Lokag, we both know most of the story. You tracked it down to 3 possible locations, and the 3 of us had planned to check one of the locations each, and at the time, it was very hard to get a hold of you because you know why. Now, this is some information that I'm happy to give you, even though you are not members of the Keepers of Law, because it is very important. I picked up a trace on this item when I was investigating the keys. Those keys that we ended up getting back from the edict. Those keys I would like to talk to you about at another time, for they are powerful. Well, they can literally unlock powerful things, but at the moment, the item that Lokag lost is more important, is more dangerous. Where the keys, I'm not quite sure how dangerous they are. So the item that we're looking for, that we had been searching for, that we had found and lost, and then had disappeared for time, is the Helm of the Undying.
And then we'll go to a flashback. We see Dune in his waistcoat, corduroy pants, and a long grey duster. A shotgun is slung over his shoulder with a strap, and he's creeping down a dirty, musty hallway. The walls are covered in graffiti, and only light comes from the dirty windows at the end of the hall and from beneath the doors of the apartments. Dull, thudding music can be heard along with loud TVs. He slowly approaches apartment 814. He stops at the front of the apartment and listens carefully. Behind the door, there is coarse laughing and coughing. He pulls free his mace, the corners of which glow blue, and readies his stance. His shoulder charges the door and slams into the smoke-filled room. A small TV lights the three goons in a blue-green light. One of them points his submachine gun at Dune, but he's too slow. Dune swipes the mace. We see the hallway, cracks and thuds are heard. Not cracks of guns, but wet cracks of skulls and bones breaking. We then see the room. Dune stands there, places his mace down on the couch. It's covered in blood. He flips open his old-style communicator and pulls up the aerial. He looks down at the mess. We then see an alleyway, pitch black, dark, besides the purple neon tubes spelling out high above an old roller door. 5 men stand underneath the lights. Lorien walks out from the darkness, a scepter in hand. The pink orb atop this golden rod begins to glow, and one of the men, a gangster with a cybernetic jaw, spits out his cigarette and thrusts his leather-clad hand forward, pointing. "What the fuck is that?" His hand drops a little because he didn't hear himself say those words. He actually can't hear anything at all. He can't hear the wind. He can't hear his friend who's telling a story. He can't hear the bottle that he just knocked off the bin as it smashes to the ground. One of his allies turns to see what his friend is pointing at. Another pulls free a pistol. A spiraling blast of what seems like a miniature blizzard blasts from Lorien's hand and envelops the 5 gangsters. After a few seconds, the fury of snow and ice subsides. There, the 5 gangsters stand, frozen in poses of action. Lorien walks up to them, looks over their belongings, and pulls free a keycard. He flicks it with his thumb, and then swipes it through the scanner to the right of the roller door. Lorien looks up at the purple neon tube lighting above. It flickers off. We see Lokag, standing in the back area of a dry cleaner's holding a large metal box by the handle. A tanto, a small elven blade is protruding from his shoulder. Around him are the bodies of 7 elven gangsters. Lokag, you leave the dry cleaners out into the alleyway. You're stumbling, you're a little dizzy, because you've lost quite a lot of blood. Your friend, Yazuko, who gets you your stuff, he's nearby. And you know he can fix you up really quick so you can get back to the library with the relic. You make your way through the alleyways, through the tight streets of Azuma, past the ramen stores, the pawnbrokers, the mini casinos, and the other businesses that you rush past. You find Yuzuko's apartment. You are feeling dizzy and sleepy, and you're surprised you got there. You knock sluggishly, and you hear bolts sliding, locks clicking, a beeping sound, and the door opens a crack. A small chain tethers the door to the doorframe. "Look! You here for some more?" He stares at you, wide-eyed, noticing the tanto still stuck in your arm, bleeding from your mouth, from the wound that the small sword is sticking out of, from various cuts along your body. "What? Are you okay? Come in, come in!" He pulls the chain free of the door and lets you into his apartment. "Look, you're bleeding. What happened? What have you done? Who'd you steal it from?" As he looks down at the metal case in your hands. He goes into the kitchen and begins rummaging around. He returns with a bottle of golden bliss bourbon and a bag of Helios powder and a small medkit. He says, "Drink. It'll help with the pain. The Helios will help, well, it'll help with life. No charge, this one's on the house. But I've got some people coming around to lock and, well, I might have a big time job ahead of me." He stitches you up, and you still feel really lightheaded and dizzy. And the both of you begin going through the bottle and the bag of Helios until there's a knock at the door. "That's them." "Look, you gotta go. Go in my room. Rest there, don't come out." He helps you up and ushers you over to his room, closes the door. Yozuko calls out, "Coming!" as he looks around and he tidies up a little. Lokag, he sees your communicator on the couch. It's ringing, and it says "Dune" across the screen. Yozuko clicks the power off and runs to the front door, opening it. 3 Gasuto Mecha gangsters walk into the apartment, and one of them is carrying a large server hard drive, and you are lying on why'd I make such a hard fucking name? Yazuko's bedroom floor, and you're thirsty as all heck. It feels as if you cannot breathe. You open the door and stumble out, and you interrupt the meeting. Now, there are a few things you remember, and the rest just isn't clear. You remember guns pointing at you. You remember jumping over the couch. You remember throwing somebody across the room, throwing a lampshade, smashing it into someone's head. You remember lifting a small metal box and breaking it over someone's face. You remember a sharp stabbing pain, and then a crackling jolt ripple through your body. We see Lorien again. He's standing in an auto chop shop. All of these car bodies and car parts around the place, as well as bodies surrounding him. He flips open his communicator, and his scepter, that pink orb on top, crackles with a pink and white energy.
"Dune, it's not here. Do you have it?" "No." "Well, have you called Lokag?" "What?" "Oh, I hope he's okay. We must find him. The helm is far too dangerous to have, well, to have it be in abusive hands like it might be."
And then we're in the library. All of you have just listened to Lorien and Lokag sharing their chain of events that happened that day.
"Now, Lokag, and, well, the rest of you, this Helm of the Undying is incredibly powerful. See, the lore behind it is there was this wizard in times before vehicles, before cars, before coal. In the ancient times where people rode on horse, there were carts that brought goods from town to town, and kingdoms were being made. There was a powerful wizard that was watching over a town. He was obsessed with power. And in his 80 human years, he did not gain enough power. He needed more. The only way to gain more power was to continue life. And he was ill, and he was old. People in those days, they didn't live much past 80, even wizards. So he devised a plan. He created a ritual which sapped the life force, the souls of all the people in the town that he watched over, and bound it to the helmet. Now, this helmet was ancient even then. It was some sort of helmet of the gods, it is said. And when he channeled all of the souls of the town, which is said to be hundreds of people, he gained their lifetimes when he wore that helmet, and he felt the rush of immortality. But his days were still numbered, for even if there were 300 people in the town, or 900 people, he only had that many lives to live. So what did the wizard do? He waged war, and he conquered. he ordered those he commanded not to kill, but to take slaves, and once again he performed a dark ritual to bind the souls of the people nearby into the helmet. But after time, his greed and his insanity took full force, and all that I've been able to find is that he lost the helmet, along with his head. Now this helmet is said to still have the souls of people in there. But one of the greatest side effects this helm had was being able to spend some of those souls to raise the corpses the souls came from. He went from being a wizard, a man who studied, a scholar, to a war-waging necromancer. And he used those bodies, those corpses of those he stole from, to wage the war and conquer. And if somebody has access to this helmet, if they have souls in there, or if they aim to do the ritual here in New Ettica, then we have something more evil than anything we have seen in our lifetime at our doorstep. And now there are not many keepers of law left to help me. So I'm begging all of you, you don't have to become seekers. You do not have to become a part of my organization. You don't have to call yourself keepers of law. But if you can help me find this, I will be forever grateful. And no doubt your children and your children's children.
And now that you've taken a second to listen to what you've said, you've noticed that his eyes are watery and he's gripping the armrest on the armchair incredibly tightly. Looks around the room at you all.
I don't expect you to say yes right now, because this could be very dangerous. I don't know if those Yuntang gangsters were selling it to another gang, if they were selling it to a collector, and it's just as simple as that, or if they were selling it to a megacorp. But if some head of a megacorp gets control of that, they have almost unlimited funds, I can't even comprehend what that might mean. So please take some time to think about it. Go and talk with your families if you will, but do not tell them too much. Tell them that you might go on a dangerous mission. It could just be a simple snatch out of an old antique store. But please, consider it. Now, after that big dump, do any of you have any questions for me?
Oh, yes.
Speaking of big dump, wow.
Yes, I thought I'd throw that one in there to light up the room a bit, little moss.
Dude, look, I'm in. If you need help, I'm in.
Like I said, you don't have to answer right now, but thank you, little boss, thank you.
I said I'm in, gosh.
Okay, cool.
I don't mean to offend you, Lorien, but I'm not a member of the Keepers of Law, as you've mentioned, so I don't know what business this is of mine.
It's true, you're not a member of the Keepers of Law. You're not a seeker. You're not a scholar. You're a mercenary. And you probably have all the fame and credits you might need. But it goes beyond credits, it goes beyond fame, it goes even beyond what you think is right. Because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who was buying that helmet, and if the Yuntongs even knew what they were selling. Like I said, I don't know anything. All that I know is I picked up on a trace of its magic. And I know it's its magic because I have traced it before, and we found it. Cortaine, I'm not going to try to convince you, but I just want you to think about something. How many people live in Darkhaven?
Millions? Tens of millions?
Yes, it's almost uncountable. There hasn't been a census in 60 years? Because Darkhaven is too cluttered. There are too many people. Just imagine if Somebody used the helmet and the ritual in Darkhaven. All of those souls stored in one person, who then can raise them as warriors to do whatever that person wants. Imagine that was in the hands of a crime boss like the Edict, or in the hands of a corporation who wants to level Darkhaven to build bigger and better things here. They're some of the things that I have fathomed, that I have sat down and thought, what would they want with this helmet? Or like I said, it could just be a collector who wants an old, cool-looking hat. But I don't believe it's that.
See, my issue is, clearly you have some magical abilities, and you have magical items, but in all of our dealing, we've helped each other out, definitely. I have not seen powerful objects or evil that you speak of. What happened with Little Moss? I wasn't there for that. This Helm of the Undying, it just seems that there's always some item that you need us to collect. Some trinket that you claim is very powerful. The keys we had to get back because of some mystical law that you mentioned. Don't take offense at this, but I think you might be just talking a big game.
Yeah, you should totally do a magic trick, dude.
A magic trick?
I don't know, or get one of the keys and show us what it does.
The keys, they are literally a key to a particular location. It seems each of these keys align with an element, and it seems whatever thing they unlock might lead to elemental planes. So I cannot do it. I cannot show you what these keys do here, for they have to unlock the correct door. But I can show you other magical things. If you want to see something of power, Cortaine, I will show you.
Go ahead, show us. It will go a long way to help me believe that such magical items exist in the world.
Lorien stands up.
Alright, all of you come back down to the vaults with me, please.
Sick.
You all make your way down there. Down the stairs, through the basement, through the utility door, down a hall, to the vaults. He walks over to Vault 3. He pulls out a key, passes it to you, Cortaine, and he takes out a key.
This needs 2 people to unlock at the same time. Now, what I'm going to show you, you cannot speak to anybody about. I cannot open the door, but I can open a shutter which will show you what is inside. Do you agree? All of you?
You have my word?
Do not tell anybody what is in this vault.
I'm a vault.
Alright.
So, he places the key in the lock. He instructs you to do the same. He then tells you that you need to place your hand on this bar, and you need to rotate the bar because it's like a if you think of the doors on like a submarine, but it doesn't have the circular part, so it's literally just like an X bar.
You need to, once you place the key in, turn it to the right. I need you to rotate your X bar here, that's that there. I need you to rotate it clockwise twice and then anti-clockwise once, and then I'll put in a combination. Now this only unlocks a hatch on 3. 1, 2, 3.
And he turns it.
I turn my key and then follow the instructions.
You do the sequence. All of these hydraulic hisses spray from this section that's probably about 5 feet up on the door. It unclicks. Lorien then grabs this thick rope that's on there and then pulls it, because he can't quite see that high. He pulls it and slides this hatch part across, and you look inside. There is this huge vault. The vault door seems to open on the left side of this vault room, and the rest of it continues out to the right. It's very dark in there. Lorien flicks these switches and sparks flick. He like sort of looks through and he's like,
Okay. He's destroyed the lights. Very well.
He turns them off. You see this red glow appear. Not quite fire red, it's this pinkish red. And you see like the outline of a head. And then those flames ripple down and you see the outlines of hands and a torso and legs, forearms, and a big whipping tail. It looks to be about maybe 15 feet tall. Walks over towards the vault and you hear this voice, this guttural voice, these screams. It sounds like the screams of tens of people as this thing talks.
Lorien, why have you come? Have you come to jest with me? Have you come to let me back into the world? These walls might hold me, but I walk in your dreams, boy.
And then he stops walking forward, this big thing.
Food. Finally. Have you brought me some food after all these years?
And you see this thing come right up to the door. And its skin is this greyish purple brown colour. You can see its ribs and stuff like that. Like, it looks emaciated, but then there are other parts of it that look incredibly muscular. Its face is basically like a skull, but that still has flesh on it. And it has these huge horns that curve down towards its face and these orbs of that pinkish red energy. This crown upon its head that is silver, it is stabbing into its head. It looks like it's kind of growing from inside of its skull. And all of this blood is just slowly trickling down, this black oozing blood. It places its two right hands, these clawed hands, against the wall and these other two on the vault, and you hear this scratching sound.
Your arcane runes might bind me to this place, but one day, Lorien, your light will go out, and your runes will dwindle, and when they do, I will break free of this prison and lay waste to the kingdoms of this world.
Who's looking into this room at the moment?
Me.
Cortaine is.
Lokag doesn't care.
Spigs likes to look.
You can all kind of look through it because this really thick glass panel hatch that's been opened is probably, I don't know, like 3 feet long by 2 feet high. It's still pretty big. You can see, and if you're all looking, I need you to all make wisdom saving throws for me.
Moss 15.
3.
And yeah, I wasn't looking.
You weren't looking?
No.
Yeah, you've heard about someone that is in the vault, but you've never seen them.
Spigs got 18.
Alright. So Spigs, as you look up, this creature looks down at you and you feel yourself drawn to stare into its eyes. And you look away, you just feel this feeling of disgust. Little Moss, when this creature looks away from Spigs, it's turning its head, looks towards you, these glowing pinky red eyes staring through you. You reel back, you sort of like step back, and you also look away. It smiles, turns towards you, Cortaine, and you stare into its eyes, and you see that pink, red flame. And you are at home, laying in your bed. You hear your communicator ringing. You open it.
Cortaine, can you see that? Can you see it? Look out your window, Cortaine. What?
Then you see this bright light outside. And you go to the window, and it seems to be coming down the street. This light is coming down the street, and it's blocking out all and overpowering all of the neon signs and advertising screens across from you. You open your window and you look down the street to the left, and there is this white wave of bulging fire, and on the edges this pink red flame that licks at buildings, and you see cars melt in an instant. It wipes past you, You climb out of rubble. Your skin's burnt. Your left arm is stuck to your torso, holding your ribs. You cannot move it. You look down. It's been fused to you. You're bleeding. You look around. Buildings are crumbling. There are big pools of molten metal. There are others that are climbing out of rubble, burnt, their skin fused together, screaming in anguish. And you look around at the city, and Darkhaven is nothing but ruins. The tall towers of Central District, black, grid-like frames. Floating in the air above Darkhaven, you see this figure that you were staring at only seconds ago, maybe? This four-armed creature with its curling tail, its skull-like head and silver crown, these huge horns curling down and these huge horns protruding up from its forehead. It looks down. You feel a shock run through your body. And then, Cortaine, you see the vault hatch has been closed. You're laying on the ground. Your face is wet. You notice that you're sobbing, and Lorien is standing there. He's holding this blue gem over you.
Cortaine, are you alright?
You look, and all the rest of your friends are like standing a few meters back. Your sword is stuck in the concrete wall, and there are slashes everywhere.
What? What happened?
There are things in this world, Cortaine, that are more powerful than guns and swords and even technomancy. More powerful than magic. There are things that are from beyond this world, and that is one of them. That is a demon. A creature from what some call the Hells, others call the Abyss. But they are separate places, and I am not exactly sure which one it is from. But before I came to New Ettica, this one was summoned, and I was able to trap it for a short time until my colleagues bound it here. When it broke free of the crystal that I trapped it in, it was stuck here, for the runes in these walls are one of those things that are powerful beyond anything that you know. Now, that helmet that I'm asking you people to get for me, Cortaine, it's not that powerful, but it could be. Now, you don't have to join me, but I want to show you, I want you to understand what dangers there are. And this, see this?
He throws that little crystal on the ground, and it's charred now, it's cracked.
That just saved you. That was an arcane crystal. The creature took control of your mind, Cortaine, and it was trying to force you to kill us. And you were sobbing and crying and screaming for your mother. You had no control over yourself. Now, I guess it showed you things that it wanted you to see, because that's what it does. It shows you things that you fear, things that give you nightmares, and then it breaks you and takes you and molds you into what it wants you to be. Please, whatever you do, do not tell anybody what is here. For if the corporations find out there is an otherworldly being here, no doubt they will charge in with their guns and their corporate samurais, their mercenaries, whatever they have, and try and take him and use him. But he cannot be used. He can only be contained.
Lorien, what about that thing you said after you die? Will he still be contained, or?
I don't know. I was really hoping to find somebody that is able to understand and channel magic as I do. But I fear that magic is not the same as it once was, so people are not born with those sort of capabilities anymore. People have to use technomancy because it is more capable of controlling magic than people are. But look, I'm a gnome. I've got another 200. I've got another 100 years or so left in me, and then I don't know what's going to happen. If I haven't found anybody to learn magic and take my place, then I guess it's up to the world to put a stop to whatever this thing brings upon us.
I will help you find that helmet.
Thank you, Cortaine. I hope what I showed you hasn't disturbed you too much. I understand you're strong, but that creature is... It's disgusting. It's putrid. It's evil incarnate. Now, if you want to learn anything about history that isn't on the casts or on the web, that you hadn't been taught in school, absolutely feel free to come and talk to me or read a book, ask me about a topic, and I'll find it for you.
You guys hear footsteps. Footfalls, I should say. Running. Somebody tall and heavy is running. Running down the hallway towards you. Dune slides in panting. His white shirt underneath his waistcoat is drenched in the armpits. He's sweating from head to toe. He looks down at his communicator.
Lorien, why? Why have you opened it? Is everything okay?
Yes, it's fine, Dune. I just believed that they should know what sort of things wander this world, or did and can wander this world. I wanted to show them the truth. It's not just all fancy hover cars and cool robotic arms. There are things that move between and in and out of this world that people in New Ettica have never ever seen.
You guys hear the thumping and scratching on the back of the vault door.
Lorien, can we get out of here, please? this thing's freaking me out.
Yes, Lorien, you've made your point. I don't want to be here anymore.
You all leave the hallway, up the stairs out of the basement, and into the library proper. Dune fixes everybody some tea, places it down in front of you all. Lorien whispers in his ear, and Dune walks over to you, Cortaine, placing his hand on your shoulder. Out of his waistcoat pocket, he pulls a flask. A normal sized flask, not a Goliath sized flask, just a normal sized one. It looks tiny in his hands. And he pours some whiskey in your tea, and he says,
Hopefully this helps, my friend. I've looked into its eyes before too, and it gave me visions. Visions that broke my heart.
Shaking hands, Cortaine takes the tea and starts drinking.
Hey, Dune, you got any cereal? I'm real hungry, man.
I certainly have cereal. We have fruit bites, we have sugar loops, and we also have Lady's Choice. It's my favorite. It's the best freaking cereal ever.
I know, right?
as he smiles and looks towards you, little Moss.
I've been trying to tell the others.
Come with me, I'll get you some cereal.
Yes!
So, Lorien, this helm, is this the thing that Lokag had lost?
I didn't lose it. It was taken from me.
Taken from you, lost it, same thing. But yeah, so do you know who took it or where it is?
Lokag says that the Gasuto Mecha took it, like the crime syndicate. But I do not know what they have done with it. And when I felt its magic, it was not in Darkhaven. It is somewhere else in the city.
Spigs. That was why I was working for the Gasuto. I'm trying to get information on it. Lorien, I swear, I'm going to get it back. Like I brought you this peace offering, the skull, but I swear I'll get the helm back. I'll pay off my debts. I will reclaim my honor.
Thank you. Lokag, it is good to see you. I hope things are going well for you and your situation. And if you can help these boys and these boys help you get this, everything will be right. Everything will be fine. And if you want to come back and work with us again, you can feel free to. If you don't, that is fine too. Now, Cortaine, Spigs, I wonder if you can use your contacts at Ultradie to maybe help us find it. I'm not sure what they have access to or what sort of information they can get a hold of, but maybe if you could start there.
We can try.
Thank you.
As he sips his tea, he takes a tome from a little table that's next to him. He opens it up and he flicks through, and he walks over to you, Cortaine, and he puts the book on your lap, and he says,
This is about the keys. Have a read of it. Spigs, you should probably have a look too, since these keys basically held your wife hostage. It seems that they are of a set. Somebody probably wants to use them to unlock something, but I believe it's to travel between planes, elemental planes. If you read the tome, you will learn a little bit more about those as well, because it does describe them.
and as you sip your tea and look through the book, Little Moss comes back with Dune. They both have a bowl of cereal. You begin to sort of just rest a little after that strange encounter, and that is where we'll leave it.
That was awesome.
Man, you shouldn't have been so weak.
Yeah. Rolled.
So I rolled for two things. What he was going to show you. So there was like the big scary one, and the other one was like a pretty cool magic item, and I rolled the scary one. Another thing that I rolled for is the crystal. Basically, if it could break the spell that the creature had over you. And I rolled a crit for that.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, 'cause you almost got your brain nommed.
Almost time for a new character.
So there would have been a chance you could have failed.
That was awesome.
It's like, hey, you want to find out what's really in this world, and it's like, deleted character, have to roll a new one, have to teach that new character what's real in the world. That character dies, roll a new one.
No, you know what
It's a
would have
vicious
happened?
cycle.
You know what would have happened? The next episode, everyone rolls a new character because a madman slaughtered everybody in a library and now is running through Darkhaven, cutting everyone up.
That'd be sick.
Cortaine's the only one who survived.
Oh, that was awesome.
New campaign, kill Cortaine.
Thank you for downloading the show. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for sharing it with a friend. And thank you for staying inside and staying safe and playing lots of video games, maybe some D&D online with your friends, and helping them all keep sane.
Something else to keep you insane is to go back to our website and just listen to all the episodes from start to finish. So also on our website, we've got a few links for the shirt, the Facebook, and all the things. If you want something for us, check out our website at www.beyondthedice.com.
All right, all you cyber nerds / awesome people, because that's what nerds really are. You totally know that our Instagram is out there, but for the rest of you who don't, you should jump on there and check it out, because we post things like this. You can't see it, but it's awesome. Yeah. At Beyond the Dice.
Also, for any news related to the podcast, check out our Facebook page at Beyond the Dice. Well, Beyond the Dice, not at. That's for Instagram.
Oh, and yeah, I fully went last week to the store and I bought a shirt and Little Mosses on it, and I wore it around and people thought I was awesome. So please go and check out all of the amazing merchandise that we have on there. Everything from D&D to character specific, but you wouldn't want anything other than Moss anyway. Yeah, so go there. And if you get a chance, guys, please review us however you consume your podcasts. Be honest, give us some really good feedback, but yeah, 5 out of 5 would recommend.
Yeah, sweet. Thanks, guys. So, like Trav said, if you want to support the show, in a monetary way, head over to store.beyondthedice.com. But if you can't afford that, we understand that's not everybody can be buying t-shirts, but it'd be cool if you could. The way you can support us for free is, like Trav said, by giving us a review and sharing the show with a friend. So in saying all that crappy do, please have a good evening and or day.
Bye.
Ciao.
See ya.
Catch you guys. Did you make my mate Yuzuko the Gazuto?
Yuzuko
Is
the
that
Gazuto.
his affiliation? Oh, because it was Gazuto's in his house. So it's just that's my mate.
Yeah,
Yuzuko the Gazuto.
Yuzuko the Gazuto. Oh, so hard to say. That's why I got tongue twisted so much.
Just call him Bruce.
I should have made it. Yeah, I should have called him like Dave or some shit.
Barry.